Alrighty then. Hello, everybody. It is I, Pyrotechnics, for... This is the sixth. This is the sixth StarCast that I've done. Awesome. I'm counting them down. I actually made a Team Liquid post today, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. I'm going to get it advertised on there, and I'm totally going off the other end. I still have facial hair. Yeah, I did not shave again today. This will be gone tomorrow. So, enjoy it while it lasts. But today I'm going to do a few games. A couple of them by a buddy of mine, Apophis, who, again, this is from LandFest a couple weeks ago. 2 weekends ago, I mentioned I was up in Pomona, California. He had a couple other games in that tournament, and I'd like to cast them. But I also found one more newly posted on our Cast It. And I'm going to do that one as well. So that'll be the first game today. I have no idea what league it is. It is Masters. Awesome. Cool. Masters League. They're so good. Shit. I'll do my best to cover it. Anyways, something very interesting is going on outside my apartment. There's a ambulance that for a while was not able to properly siren. Kind of sounded like Optimus Prime needing his new change of batteries. Anyways, we're going to get into this game. Sorry if my audio quality is complete shit, if it's because of that or because of just bad encoding. I'm working on it. I'm going to play with the settings a little bit more, but we will be getting into the game. I am downloading it at this exact moment. And there we go. And you should be seeing all of the awesomeness that is this game. Whirlwind, Ellie, and here we go, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, the Zerg in the red trunks, it is MaSsSsDrOnEs. Perhaps revealing his strategy a little too early, and apparently it has been far too long for him. Now, spawning up in the top right-hand corner, we have the green Protoss, it is Nesquik. Right off the bat, we have a small amount of bad manners here in this game. A small amount of bad manners into a small amount of good manners. Sarcasm is something that not everyone can comprehend, so I will explain it. Because I myself did not know. An interesting pylon placement right now. Nesquik is starting out with probably a wall-off right here, as is very popular in PvZ strategies these days. I think that may not have been the optimal location for the pylons. Certainly not one I see all the time, but it might be part of an interesting special strategy or something, and we'll see if it ends up paying off. So early scouting. Nesquik is not having any of this six-pool bullshit that he expects might be going down. But he's not going to quite see that. He's going to see 14 drones and nothing else started. No hatchery, no pool. MaSsSsDrOnEs is clearly saving up for a little bit of later gameplay. And right now, Nesquik is safe to be chrono boosting out those probes. But a spawning pool does finally go down, and it, of course, is scouted by Nesquik's probe, who decides to get out of town and maybe not quite in a hurry. He's taking a bit of a walk. And there he goes. There he goes. So it looks like he is going to attempt to block the eventual hatchery here. This drone is not going to be very, very happy about that. There will be some worker-on-worker action. And there it is. Most horrifying. Oh god, if he puts a pylon down right now. Oh, nobody gets away. His probe is going to, in fact, get away. Yep, fine. Okay. And, actually, nice delay on that hatch. Nesquik was able to keep it back so far that he's now able to put up his Nexus very early. His Forge is going down, of course, and another pylon. But right now, he's delayed MaSsSsDrOnEs just a little bit on this hatchery. So, it'll be interesting to see what drones does end up coming out with. He is producing a couple of Lings and a Queen. But this wall-off, I think it's going to get done in time. That's a bit of a distance. And I don't even think... This Overlord is just barely starting to scout. Oh. Oh my goodness. Ugh. I'm going into the views of Nesquik. Ugh. Okay. Anyways. Sorry about that. Yeah, here we go. So that Overlord was just barely able to scout everything that was going on. Well, he doesn't even see everything. No, he only sees that the Nexus is being built. He might try to go for a run-by here. Interesting to see if he's going to be able to make it in. I don't think so. A couple of Lings are there, but they're not going in. Okay. Interesting, the queen is heading down to the eventual hatchery. And nothing too unusual here, you know? Very basic macro-oriented play. These lings probably didn't need to come out, to be honest. There's not a whole lot they're going to be doing, but they will be able to protect the interest that Drones has around the field now. He is going for, of course, a third hatch very quickly to make up for the fact that he did not manage to get his second out very, very quick. And if we take a look at the worker supply, it's about dead even. Nesquik a little bit ahead on probes, but how long that's going to last with a couple of queens out here, I don't know. Those lings are going to be able to do a whole lot, and they know it's. They're just going to run around the field and just hopefully enjoy their linginess. The probe is finishing this blocked off wall while there's nothing out here produced for Nesquik. He is going to be able to continue to macro up, continue to keep probing, which is something entirely different in StarCraft, and to continue to chrono boost out of that Nexus as much as possible. But MaSsSsDrOnEs is going to see everything that goes on right now, so scouting is definitely in his favor at this time. So we'll see what our Protoss player does. Cybernetics Core is not being chrono boosted on that Warp Gate research, so we see it's actually a fast Stalker coming out, maybe to ward away this MaSsSsDrOnEs Overlord, but no, it's really more like just going to be a general defense. A couple of gases being taken for a Protoss player has already gotten both of his at home, so he's definitely going for some very, very heavy tech play. Of course, Protoss very fond of getting early gas as well. This is nothing unusual at all. Meanwhile, back at the third base, MaSsSsDrOnEs has massed out on drones. He is needing to get some overlords out. He's producing one of them right now. He's supply blocked at the moment, but he's getting quite far ahead in drone production. He is very well saturated at almost all three of his bases. And what's he going to start putting in production? It'll be interesting. He puts down 2 gases at his main and 1 at his natural. Still nothing but drones coming out right now. There really is nothing but MaSsSsDrOnEs. This is a true-to-form name for this Zerg player. And Nesquik's looking to take a third here, but it's, of course, going to get scouted by that Overlord. Not a whole lot else out on the field. A couple of lings going to attempt to come up here and see what they can see. Maybe take out a bit of the wall, but that Photon Cannon is looming scary, and so is that Sentry. And it's going to bully those lings just a tiny, tiny bit. And they go down, of course. Ooh, interesting Stargate play. Alright, and it's only almost 8 minutes in. Okay, this is going to be interesting. Not a lot of units have been produced for either player army-wise. 1 upgrades for ground are going down, and of course 2 more of these gateways in production over at this third base of Nesquik's, who has a very, very small group of units. But he has this Stargate. So what is he going to build? Phoenix Harass? Oracle Harass? Void Rays? Skill Rays? I heard Day9 call them Skill Rays, so obviously it must be true. They require a lot of skill. Okay, another big wall off. This is some very, very good and effective walling to try to prevent ridiculous Zerg attacks. But right now, we still see just all kinds of macro coming out of MaSsSsDrOnEs. He is just massing those drones. I mean, that is a terrible joke, but he's doing it. He's starting to finally build up some buildings that will help him build a lot more of his units. He's getting Hydras and Roaches, so he's getting +1 ground distance attacks. I don't even... What is that? What's that? Missile attacks. God, I am so scrubbish. It is unbelievable how much I don't know. But in the meantime, we see a couple of gateways coming out right now and a second Stargate. So still no production out of these 2 Stargates. What are they going to start producing? I am so suspenseful that there will be something awesome. Come on, start producing out of them. There we go. We have ourselves a Void Ray being chrono boosted out right now. Okay. Crew spread going down a little bit right now. An extra queen is assisting in that for MaSsSsDrOnEs. And that's ground care base is going up. Excelente. So both players continuing to macro all of the upgrades. Glauber Constitution and Groove Spines going down to get those Hydras and Roaches going, but is a little bit late to be starting to produce Hydras and Roaches at this point in the game, especially when he is going to be sitting on high tech very shortly if he wants to. He has an infestation at pit as well, but he is not doing anything with it. A couple of Hydras start to get up, so the first serious offensive units for our Zerg player in the game right now, and the first of the Void Rays is finished up. Swarm Host is actually being produced right now as well as Enduring Locust, so we might see a little bit of an interesting composition out of our Zerg player who is also taking a 4th base, trying to establish and assert that map control. He has been a little bit behind of the Protoss player at this time, but the army count has definitely pulled away in his favor. Sorry, worker count and army count, actually, but not by a whole lot. A couple of Hydras out here. No, forgive me, there are actually no Roaches at all, so it is just a half a dozen Hydras and a Swarm Host. And the Queens continue to spread that creep, so maybe he's going to go into siege mode. I don't know if that's going to be such a good idea against these Void Rays, though. It'll be very interesting to see what happens in this eventual battle. It has so far been a very quiet, macro-oriented game, and now we see ground, air armor and, forgive me, ground level 2 attacks. So a lot of upgrades going down for our Protoss player as well as a lot more gateways. So, I think he has a total of 6 right now. Let's take a look. That's a unit count. My goodness. There we are. 6 warp gates at the time. 2 gateways out, of course. So, back in production, we see that there are a lot more Swarm Hosts, and of course, the creep is spreading as far as it can. A bunch of Lings here that I completely missed from earlier, but they're not really doing anything. They're just sort of sitting there, keeping an eye on that Xel'Naga tower, I suppose. So, it's unclear if MaSsSsDrOnEs really attempted to do something with these, if he's going to suicide them in to scout. I mean, they are pretty cheap, but he doesn't want to lose all those minerals. From his overlords, he does know, sort of, what's being gone for, but I don't think he ever did manage to scout these. So let's take a look. Did he actually? No, no, he did see the 1, so he might have suspected that, but it's not entirely clear if he was able to, and a lot of Swarm Hosts are now out on the field. That is, holy shit, that is going to be quite the army, but they are very, very vulnerable, and with only this many Hydras, I don't know if they're going to be able to withstand this many skill rays. This many GG rays. Oh my goodness, and all the spines go down. It is an auto turret defense for our Zerg player. He is deciding that he's just going to go straight into this massive, crazy composition and run all over the field if he possibly can. A couple of Zealots go out there for Nesquik to scout, and they are going to see that composition, know that they can deal with it. So right now, that's just going to be able to do quite a bit of damage. And of course, he is in fact taking a 4th for himself while the Zerg player takes a 5th. So this game has been no serious engagements, very, very, very quiet, and the war of attrition is only just beginning. This neutral ground right in the middle, all that stands between these 2 armies. MaSsSsDrOnEs reasonably close to maxing out, but his composition is not entirely fit to deal with this Protoss force of ridiculous amounts of Void Rays, small amounts of Stalkers, and I think he might be prepping for an attack anyways, because he's getting 2 and 2. Meanwhile, oh my goodness, the Swarm Host, one of them is out of position, it's going to get fired down. That was not the most effective scout, but these Locusts are going to come in and say, hey, that's what he has. Void Rays will clean that up nicely. But of course, all these Lings did manage to get a good attack in, but these Hydras are, of course, by themselves, and these Swarm Hosts are going to have to retreat if they want to survive at all. These Void Rays are going to do just a ridiculous amount of damage. And they're going to march freely across the field, and they're going to catch the Swarm Host out of position. They're going to be doing, oh my goodness, the entire army's going to go down. MaSsSsDrOnEs is in complete panic mode. Oh no! Oh! Oh, that pained me to watch. All those Swarm Hosts just went down. Oh, and he lost so many resources too. I'm gonna pause that really quick. Oh, that hurt right there. God, that was an impaling shot to the carapace, guys. Whew. I need a minute to calm down. I need some water. I feel a little better. Okay, let's go back to the game. Okay. MaSsSsDrOnEs still has a decent little bit of Lings left, but they're not going to do a whole lot against this gigantic Skytoss army. And it looked like he had some... okay. Looks like MaSsSsDrOnEs had some Vipers to do some pulls, but I'm not sure what he was going to try to do with those and the Swarm Host. I guess he really anticipated more of a ground-based army, because he clearly did not prep his anti-air sufficiently. He had about half a dozen Hydralisks, not a whole lot. He's starting to build a lot more, of course, but it might be a little too late to do anything about this. But here comes the giant army. Hopefully the Lings will be able to distract a lot of these air units, but I don't really think so. This is not nearly enough Hydralisks to take out this entire force of Void Rays. They're going to have to go straight back into their base, and it looks like a couple of these bases are going to fall. It's just a matter of time at this point. And back in production, we see even more Void Rays. I think Nesquik knows he has a ridiculous upper hand here. It doesn't matter the number of bases of Zerg. And, of course, the Lings are going to be going in for a massive run-by, but they're going to say, oh, fuck it, let's go attack these Zealots. Okay, whatever. We're seeing a lot more Void Rays completely photon overcharging. Prismatic alignment is what I meant to say. My god, I am terrible at this today. But that base is going to fall very, very shortly, and these are just too many Void Rays for MaSsSsDrOnEs to deal with. He could send in his MaSsSsDrOnEs, but I don't think it's going to help. A couple of Hydras coming in to try and do some damage and knock off a few of these Void Rays, but they are completely mismicroed, and they're going to go all the way down. Oh, the Void Rays, they're just too much. The Hydras are hoping to mass up a little bit quicker, and of course a couple of Void Rays get pulled out of position. Of course the Hydras are going to fire them down, but they are not nearly going to do enough damage, and the Hydras themselves are the target of the focus. They are dropping 1, 2, 3, 4, and MaSsSsDrOnEs is a little confused right now. He has an epiphany. He says Void Rays can work in mass, and he GG's. Nesquik is going to take this game. It's just a matter of when our player drops out of the game, when our Zerg player MaSsSsDrOnEs decides to get out. A little bit of a discussion. There we go. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the game. That was game number 1. Yeah, oh god, that was just, oh, Swarm Host. I'm gonna have nightmares about that. That was awful. But hey, that was a good game. That was excellent. It was not a lot of attacking. MaSsSsDrOnEs, I really expected to do a little bit more early run-bys with those Lings. I kind of, you know, miscalled it. But, you know, he went for fairly, not fairly standard. You know, he got out a ton of his Swarm Hosts, and he just didn't have enough Hydras to cover their backs, man. He really... You know, this is what happens when you don't scout super effectively. Nesquik just said, you know what, I'm going to build 3 gateways, or Stargates. I'm going to pump out all the Void Rays on 3 bases, and I'm going to run train on the Zerg. And he did! It works! And to you, Nesquik, I'm going to say a very... to you. Okay, we're going to take a quick break and get into game number 2 very soon. So, here we go. Cheers!